I'm Sidney, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to listen to my speech about air pollution. At the end of my speech, my hope is that all of the audience members should be able to explain the major distributors to air pollution in our current world. Cars are a very popular means of air pollution, but they are not the only ones, and our current population should focus on ways to reduce air pollution. Air pollution is caused by many things. I'm going to explain what some major contributors of air pollution are, how we can reduce air pollution, and why air pollution is bad for our health. Along with this, I will explain how air pollution is harming our environment system. Throughout daily life, we do things that harm our Earth's atmosphere, the air we breathe, and therefore harming those around us without much thought. Throughout this speech, I will discuss common air polluters, some simple fixes, and why I believe these things should be changed. Air pollution is a major issue that ultimately will require changes on a much larger scale than an individual level. But as a society, we must start somewhere to understand the harm we are causing and some things we can do to help. The quality of human life is at risk from new infectious diseases, from pollution of air, food, and water, and from the loss of wilderness and connection to nature. The following speech will discuss why air pollution is an environmental issue. Environmental issues include scientific, technological, and economic considerations, but they also include considerations about ethics, values, and aesthetic dimensions of the environment. Air pollution refers to the release of pollutants into the air that are detrimental to human health and to the planet. Most of the time, when we think of air pollution, we think of the toxins emitted from the vehicles, which is a huge contributor. But there are other things as well, such as waste from huge industries, manure lagoons from large farming corporations, smoking, and ineffective heating and cooling systems in our homes and our businesses. According to Jameson, a bioethical author, consequentialist is the family of theory that holds that acts are morally right, wrong, or indifferent solely in virtue of their consequences. Right acts are those that produce good consequences, meaning that according to this theory, when we all decide what to do on a daily basis, we must consider the consequences for our actions for all those who are affected and not just ourselves. Therefore, in the instance of air pollution, even though driving my car is pleasurable and convenient to me, the consequence of polluting the air with harmful toxins, harming the health of people, and harming the atmosphere makes this act very unethical. The act of polluting the air, no matter the means or reason, is non-permissible. Utilitarianism is a version of consequentialism, which holds that something is right if and only if it produces the maximum amount of value for the most amount of people. Although being able to drive a private vehicle, big industries employ a lot of people, and industrial farming is a person's livelihood and brings forth lots of value for a lot of people, these values do not outweigh the values of clean air. The cars we drive emit nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and other harmful chemicals, essentially dumping poison into the same air that we breathe and fuel our bodies. The toxins put off from vehicles contribute not only to major health issues such as asthma and heart disease, but also to climate change. Air is also harmed by manure packed into lagoons and pits left by large farming industries. Cows produce, as a byproduct of digestion, volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, that are chemically active in smog. In San Joaquin Valley, California's richest agricultural heartland, has some of America's worst air quality, with its 2.5 million cows being the largest contributor. According to the San Juan Valley United Air Control District, says each cow in the valley annually contributes more VOCs than an automobile or a light truck. They also contribute to climate control by producing 50% of the world's methane, a greenhouse gas that is 20 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. The problems that air pollution cause will be more thoroughly explained. Smog, or ground-level ozone, occurs when emissions from combusting fossil fuels react with sunlight. Soot is made up of tiny particles of chemicals, soil, dust, and allergens in the form of gas or solids that are carried in the air. Smog can irritate the eyes and throat and cause damage to the lungs, especially of those people who work or exercise outside, and those more susceptible, like children and senior citizens. The tiniest airborne particles can penetrate lungs and the bloodstream, worsening bronchitis, leading to heart attacks, and even hasten death. Air pollution reduces the amount of oxygen reaching the body's organs and tissues. It also decreases lung function and causes respiratory symptoms such as coughing and shortness of breath, making it especially hard for those with pre-existing respiratory diseases. Some gases, such as lead, can damage the developing nervous system, resulting in IQ loss and impacts on learning, memory, and behavior in children. It also causes cardiac and renal effects in adults and early signs related to anemia. In conclusion, the effects or consequences of air pollution on people and the climate outweigh the pleasure of acts making them as unethical. The solution to this ethical problem does not come easy. How do we encourage and force people to protect the interests and entities that themselves do not participate in the market? We live in a society of selfish people who only think of themselves when making decisions. As individuals, we are unable to control big industries and farming communities, but we can make small changes in our daily lives. We can begin by quitting smoking cigarettes and cigars. Even if we don't actively participate, we can encourage others by explaining the problems they are contributing to. Private vehicles are something we all enjoy, but carpooling with co-workers, riding a bike to close destinations, and taking public transportation decreases the amount of chemicals and toxins being added to the atmosphere. In our homes, we can upgrade to more efficient heating and cooling options and running energy through wind or solar. Finally, support of local shops and farmers reduces the amount of toxins related to the production and shipping of items. Fixing the big issues of industrial sites and farms is something we cannot do, but we can advocate for our right to clean air and demand closer and better monitoring. According to Jameson, we are suffering from environmental problems because we have become rich and mobile way too quickly, and we are overwhelming the technological systems that enable these successes to occur. When few people drove cars, it was no issue, but now everyone drives cars daily, causing major harm. We are expecting our atmosphere to be around forever and adapt to our lifestyle changes, yet we are pouring toxins into the air we breathe and overloading it. WHO reports that in 2012, around 7 million people died, 1 in 8 of total global death as a result of air pollution exposure. This finding more than doubles previous estimates and confirms that air pollution is now the world's largest single environmental health risk. Reducing air pollution could save millions of lives. If steps are not taken to reduce and control air pollution, we will end up in an ethical conundrum with millions more people dead. Thank you.